Let's face the facts. A large majority of popular videos on the internet are based on failure. And as human beings, it's our job to point out the biggest failures the internet has to offer by leaving comments of acronyms of how we're laughing so hard that we're literally rolling on the floor because that one guy got hit in the nuts with a coconut. Hashtag Rafflemau. Am I cool now? Am I one of the cool kids now? And gaming has had its fair share of failures, including some game franchises that, whether or not they were good, really screwed the pooch. So I decided to get on the fail hype train, and I present to you the top 10 game franchises that screwed the pooch. A few rules. It doesn't matter if they're still popping out games or have faded into nothingness, as long as it's universally agreed that the game franchise wasn't what it used to be. Also, it has to have more than one game, and remakes don't count. With that out of the way, let's get started. Even though it's very popular and has sold over 100 million copies, Call of Duty is one of the most hated franchises of all time. People dislike it because they say that all of the games are the same, and that it's too simplistic, and that it sucks when noobs get online. While I have never much liked COD, I never really hated it. In fact, I enjoyed its somewhat realistic portrayals of wartime events and combat maneuvers. In short, I really enjoyed how realistic most COD games are. Except, Nazi zombies, which technically haven't been proven real yet, but I swear to God, I saw one at the beauty salon the other day getting a touch-up and a pedicure. He was an undead scumbag, and his nail polish choices really clashed with his complexion. Getting back on track, I really enjoyed the Call of Duty franchise, especially the Modern Warfare and Black Ops series, pre-Black Ops 3. Emphasis on enjoyed, as in past tense. After Black Ops 2, COD decided to take place in a more sci-fi setting. In Ghosts, we got the realism of war in space. To be fair, Ghost wasn't entirely in space, so I'll let it go. However, when we all thought that the sci-fi phase was over, oh how wrong we were. 1 year later, Advanced Warfare came out, and we all thought the sci-fi knob could only go to 10. But they found a way to turn it up to 11! For those not cool enough to get the reference, that's Spinal Tap. Great movie, go watch it. This takes place in the future, the 2050s to be exact. And we've got exoskeletons, futuristic weapons, lasers, drone planes. Oh look, there's Kevin Spacey. And then Black Ops 3 came out. I loved the Black Ops series because it was so realistic. Minus the futuristic scenes from Black Ops 2. But there were so few of those that I forgave it. This, on the other hand, is like sci-fi to the max. I get Activision was trying to change the setting and gameplay of COD, but this is too extreme. I wish that we could just go back to the old days, which, if we're talking Modern Warfare, is now. Also, isn't there another critically acclaimed FPS who rivals with COD and has futuristic sci-fi gameplay in space with lasers and armors and holograms and— oh yeah, it's Halo! Stop trying to be Halo, COD! Jeez Louise! Speaking of Call of Duty, does anyone actually remember the game series that it killed off? Yeah, me neither. Something like Badge of Courage, or Trophy of Loyalty, or Award of Appreciation or something. Medal of Honor? No, that doesn't sound right at all. But in all seriousness, Medal of Honor was back then the Call of Duty of now. But it wasn't as—
oh my god, what the fuck is this BS? Who let XX_noobsauce5639_XX on this server? He sucks worse than my mom!
Because online gameplay wasn't as popular back then. I remember owning Medal of Honor Frontline for my GameCube. Hell, I still have it, and it was a lot of fun, although I never knew why the game came in 2 discs. It was coming out with games every year, and it was non-stop fun. But that all changed when Modern Warfare came out. See, Call of Duty really is a good franchise. It desecrated the Medal of Honor series so bad that it had to reboot itself in 2010, a full 3 years after its last game. And it came out with a sequel in 2012. And long story short, The sequel killed the franchise all over again. Short story long, it was rushed, had crappy AI, being a bug fest, and worst of all, lacking intuitivity. Critics called it a COD knockoff, and it's still affecting the company to this day, with no planned sequel in the works. It seems like Medal of Honor just couldn't take the dignified way out. And that's really sad to see a great franchise being knocked out of the ring with just one word it's been trying to fight against for almost 15 years. Knockoff. And that's how I'm ending this entry. On a sad note, because what happened to Medal of Honor was sad. Sure, Crash Bandicoot may have been the face of the PS1, but every Mario needs a Zelda to back it up, and Crash's Zelda is Spyro the Dragon. Wait, hold on one sec, Spyro the Dragon was one of the first and greatest 3D platformer game series, up there with Mario, Crash, and Banjo Kazooie. He had a killer triple threat lineup, with Spyro's first 3 adventures getting critically acclaimed. But then, as all good things must come to an end, Spyro's future became bleak. After the release of his third, and in my opinion best, game, Insomniac Games, the developers behind Spyro, decided to let the series go third party, as in anyone could get their hands on it now. And boy, did those ratings drop after that. Spyro went handheld for a while, with some less than mediocre games, and started back on the console soon after, releasing games on not only the PS2, but also on the Xbox and the GameCube. After some more or less than mediocre games, and an almost unpassable DS game, the Spyro the Dragon series just disappeared. But don't worry, all you Spyro fans, as the character was revived in 2011, and will always live on through the critically acclaimed figurine-based game series, Skylanders. Yeah! Mario Party!
Yahoo!
Before 2012, if you asked some random guy on the street what the best Mario Party game was, he'd say, What? What are you talking about? Who are you? Get that camera out of my But if you asked someone who actually knew who you were and wouldn't file a restraining order on you, they'd answer by saying any game before 4, 5, or 6. But after Mario Party 9 came out, even Mario Party 8 looked like a godsend. First of all, Mario Party is supposed to be about competition, losing friends, and getting blisters all over your hands. With Mario Party 9, Nintendo said, "This shit is too hard. People are losing friends left and right. What the fuck are we gonna do?" And one stupid idiotic guy came up with the idea of Mario Party, the game where everybody's a winner. What's that? I have more stars and coins and items than you in general at the end of the game, ergo I should be crowned the king of the party? Ha ha ha, you'd think that, right? Nope, because of those stupid participation awards. Someone from a distant last place can get to first place so easily, and they didn't even do anything. Oh, and don't even think about the free roaming, because now everybody shares a car. That's right, you heard me. There's a car now. What happened? You'd think Mario Party 10 would fix it, right? Go back to the way things used to be, right? Right? Nope. This right here is worse. Bring back 9, please, I'm begging ya. How did they mess this up even more? Now, not only are the minigames not even given each round, but the intuitiveness of each minigame is non-existent. The maps are bland, Bowser mode is unwanted and OP, and oh my god, Amiibo Party. It's so... As much as it pains me to say it, Mega Man, my favorite video game series of all time, has definitely screwed the pooch. Super fighting robot, Mega Man! The Mega Man franchise has an overabundance of games and spin-offs, including an RPG, a 16-bit platformer, another RPG, an origin story for Zero, Another. There were lots of RPGs. He even had a soccer game spin-off. We don't like to talk about the soccer game spin-off. Unfortunately for the series, Mega Man 10 marked the last main series game so far. I just want to take the moment to point out that they ended one of the greatest series of all time with Sheep Man. And Mega Man X7 scarred the Mega Man X series so bad that when X8 came out, which was a vastly superior game, it was too late, and the X series had come to an end as well. You're probably wondering how one game could end an entire franchise.
Burn to the ground! Burn to the ground! Burn to the ground! Burn!
Nowadays, the only thing that people can look towards are the awesome fan-made ROMs like Mega Man Unlimited and Mega Man v Street Fighter, the animated series coming out this year, and the spiritual successor, Mighty No. 9, created by Keiji Inajun, forgive me if I'm saying that incorrectly, one of the main guys behind the original Mega Man games, which was able to see the light of the day because of Kickstarter and payments from viewers like you. Thank you. Mega Man has even had some games that never saw the light of day, including an online MMORPG, a Mega Man 2-esque HD remake, a sequel to the widely popular Mega Man Legends series, Mega Man Legends 3, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but an FPS in which you control X to take down Mavericks. On paper that may sound good, but maybe it's better that they end on a high note than land flat on their faces. Nope, never mind, bring it back. Nothing you could do is worse than this Fukuk the Jock. Castlevania, one of Konami's longest running game franchises, definitely deserves to be on this list. It's definitely seen a downfall after its conversion to 3D, and I definitely think that it should. Contra, one of Konami's oldest game franchises, definitely deserves to be on this list. It's been mediocre at best after Contra 3 until Contra 4 came out, over 15 years since the last main series game, and it just goes to show that Konami really doesn't care about some of its best game franchises. It's really sad to see such a great Silent Hill, one of Konami's best-selling series, definitely deserves to be on this list. After the cancellation of Silent Hill, the full version of the critically acclaimed PT, and I hate to see such The Simpsons Def, TMNT Def, Metal Gear Solid, Zone of the You know what? Konami. Konami makes number 5. Not any one game in particular, just Konami. I don't think I have to go into any detail about how awful Konami has been over the past few years. Reports of the HQ and staff being treated like prisoners of the Konami prison aside, they've taken all of their game franchises and just took one massive, disgusting plop on it. They think that people are going to like seeing their games turned into, oh god, I can't believe I'm about to say this, pachinko machines.
What the fuck?
Of course, the one defining factor of Konami being Hideo Kojima, a huge influence of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, left the company back in October of 2015, and to be honest, he's really not to blame. Konami basically abused him, forcing him to follow their creative liberties. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain was, and probably will be for a very long time, the last good game out of Konami. But fear not, Castlevania fans, for a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor titled Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, created by Koji Igarashi, the guy behind the original Castlevania series, became massively successful just hours after its launch. Starting to see a trend here. Sometimes you just gotta look up into the sky and ask the one question that's been on everybody's mind since this game came out. How? How, Nintendo? How could you possibly screw up Metroid, a game that hasn't had a single flawed game in its entire series? Even Metroid Pinball was a success. How did you screw this up? This is the question people were asking after Metroid Other M came out. The Metroid Prime trilogy had just wrapped up in a neat little bow. Seriously, this game was divine. If it was a cake, it'd be a wedding cake for Princess Diana. That's how good it was. And Nintendo wanted to go back to 2D roots. So, they let Team Ninja, a third-party developer, take a crack at it. And what resulted out of it was mediocre gameplay, mad graphics, and what the fuck happened with the story? The emotions of Samus are forced, and her voice is just so damn boring. Also, who are all these characters? Anthony Higgs, Adam Malkovich, Madeline Bergman, the Federation Force? What happened to Kraid? Remember Kraid? There's a twist at the end that I'm not going to spoil, not because I think you should play the game, because I don't, but it's too weird and stupid, and it happens after the final boss, which is just Fantoon from Super Metroid, which is just a mid-boss. Why is he the final boss in this game? The weapon upgrade system is stupid. Sure, I get it. Samus is very powerful and may harm soldiers with bombs or missiles. Whatever. Unique gameplay. But why does she need permission to use a suit that protects her from heat? And that's it. There aren't any weapons. It's just a suit. It's just the fucking Varia suit. Remember when Samus was all like, oh look, I'm a woman who works independently to single-handedly save the galaxy from alien parasites on multiple occasions. I'm a strong message for all girls of all ages. Other M turned that into, oh look, I'm a girl who just follows orders from a bunch of other men who everyone knows are much weaker than me. But I still follow their orders even though they're also a bunch of idiots because girls have to follow guys' orders even though I have a fucking power suit. If you excuse me, I'm gonna go not do anything and let the weak, non-protected men help me because I'm Samus fucking Ann! Hey, did you guys hear about the new Metroid Prime game coming to the 3DS? Yeah, I heard it's going to be great with lots of new features and levels from previous games, and even a unique and interesting weapon. It's soccer. It's Metroid Soccer. Remember earlier when I said Spyro was the Zelda of the PlayStation? Well, if that's the case, then Crash Bandicoot is the Mario of the PlayStation. Or at least he was. Hell, there was a time when Mario had a legitimate rivalry with Crash Bandicoot. And I'm pretty sure that some of the Bandicoot's games sold better than Mario's repetitive platformers with the princess and the turtles and the... Unfortunately, no one has seen head or tail of the Bandicoot since 2010, in which he starred in a sequel to his successful mobile racing game. And I say successful in quotes because it's a mobile game, and those all suck. Well, most of them. Maybe it's for the best that we haven't heard anything from him for a while. To be honest, his last two games were kind of absolute pieces of shit. And some can even argue that any game after Naughty Dog let Crash go third party was bad. Although I very much enjoyed Twinsanity and The Huge Adventure. But it was the gimmicky games that really set Crash back, like Crash, Mind Over Mutants, and Crash the Titans. Get it? Do you get it? Like the movie! But instead of trying to fix it and bring Crash back to the next generation of consoles, Naughty Dog just kinda gave up and started working on their next game, overhyped and underdone. I mean The Last of Us! I meant The Last of Us. Maybe one day Crash will return to us and hopefully our society will welcome him with open arms. Because if he doesn't, we only have this to remember him by. Oh boy, Banjo Kazooie! Man, this was the definitive 3D platformer from the Nintendo 64 days. Sure, there's Mario 64, and Spyro the Dragon, and Crash Bandicoot, but Banjo Kazooie was my childhood. When the first Banjo Kazooie game came out, I was all like, oh my god, this is a game sent down from the heavens to bless us. Please don't screw this up by making a crappy sequel. And wouldn't you know it, 2 years later, Banjo Tooie was made, and it was, well... think of it as Banjo Kazooie, multiplied by... Hell, all games from the hit company Rareware were extraordinary. Conker, Donkey Kong, GoldenEye, you name it. If it was before 2001, it was a great game. By the time of darkness.
xtremethomas.
In September of 2002, Microsoft bought out Rareware, leaving the future of the Bear and the Bird in the dark, except all those GBA games, but we don't like to talk about those. Then years later, a teaser came out for a new Banjo Kazooie game. It looked awesome and hype. I didn't even care that it looked like they took the old character models and crossed it with Half-Life-esque models, because it was like receiving a gift from the heavens. I have no idea what I was trying to go for with that. And in 2008, Banjo Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was released for the Xbox 360. I bought it, put it in my 360, and peed my pants in excitement waiting to play. This was it. After 8 years, I was finally reunited with my favorite video game characters. Banjo, Kazooie, Mumbo, Gruntilda, Bottles, they were all there. I knew that whatever they put on this game disc, there was nothing that could make me change my opinion of this game. This is what they came up with for the triumphant return of Banjo and Kazooie? A free build car simulator? How did you turn this into this? Why? Why did you ruin my childhood, Rareware?
Why did you steal my soul?
Look, I get it. You tried to be new and inventive. Actually, fuck it. Fuck you. I don't get it. Whose idea was this? Because I don't care what the ratings for this game were. It sucked. It sucked so much. You completely ruined my hope for you, Rareware. The worst part is that it's actually a decent-ish game, kind of. It's just not a Banjo-Kazooie game. What's next? Virtual Reality Conquer? You motherfucker! At least there's still hope for the BK series, not from Rareware itself. No, that boat sailed a long time ago. Get it? Do you get it? Because of Sea of Thieves. But instead, from a company of old Rareware employees who worked on the original game. They even got Grant Kirkhope, the original composer. And because of their massively successful Kickstarter, I wonder where they heard this idea from. Yooka-Laylee will be released in fall, and hopefully Rareware will see this game and realize that it's time to bring back the Bear and Bird duo and get them back to their main 3D platformer roots. Before we get to number 1, here are some game franchises that didn't quite make the list, but still get a dishonorable mention.
Mountain.
Did you get that, Slippy?
You've got to go to the ice mountain and rescue her son, the Prince Tricky.
Out there.
No, what am I doing?
Sonic the Hedgehog. Some say that his franchise failed after he transitioned to 3D.
You're too slow.
Others, me included, believe that he really screwed up when Sega decided to go for a darker and edgier approach to the blue blur. To be honest, I don't care what caused the franchise to screw the pooch. It was totally Shadow the Hedgehog. But I care why Sonic hasn't gotten back on his feet and came out with a good game. Here's why Sonic the Hedgehog is the #1 game franchise that screwed the pooch. All the other games have had maybe one game ruin their franchise, and normally they're able to fix any problems in the previous game with a sequel. The problem with Sonic is that Sega just can't seem to get what the fans want right. And while I can't blame them due to the fact that the
Sonic the Hedgehog fanbase is the worst fanbase in the history of fanbases.
I'll probably cover that at a later date. I think it's pretty obvious what Sonic Team has to do. Go back to the Genesis and Sega CD games, and base a game off of that. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 was a massively successful game because you based it off of what I just said. But other than that, Sonic Team, you're really screwing the pooch with Sonic. Sure, he has had some good games here and there, like Generations and Colors, but that doesn't even come close to the abominations he's had over the past decade. Shadow the Hedgehog. Not only is this the game that single-handedly ruined the franchise, but it introduced Sonic characters to guns.
Why the fuck are there guns in my Sonic game?
Sonic and the Black Knight. This game is about Sonic traveling back in time to rescue land during the medieval ages. The same Sonic who freed baby animals from Dr. Eggman. Remember that? Remember when Sonic was fun? Also, don't cut out the main antagonist! Sonic Unleashed. A werehog? What is that? Did you really think that was a good idea? That this was a step forward? Sonic Freeriders? Oh god, my back! And Sonic Lost World. I have so much bad stuff to say about this game that if I was to ramble on, it'd take 20 minutes. So let me just sum it up for you in a concise statement. Sonic Team, you cannot, under any circumstances whatsoever, pass off 25 extra lives as fucking paid DLC. But by far, the worst games in the series are Sonic 06, which was the attempt to reboot the series after Shadow the Hedgehog ruined it by making it too dark and edgy. And guess what? Alongside being a glitch fest and having a terrible plot that involves time travel, the game was a failure because people said that it was even darker and edgier than its predecessor. And how can we forget Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyric, Sonic Team's next attempt to reboot the series by having it go alongside with the cartoon. Unfortunately, unlike the cartoon, this game sucked. At least Sonic 06 was a good laugh to play through and had minimal redeeming qualities. Sonic Boom has nothing. It's even glitchier than Sonic 06 with a constant frame rate drop to 10 FPS. That's not a lot of frames, is it? It doesn't even have any good or memorable music, and this is a Sonic game. Even the bad games have great music. The worst part about Sonic right now is that the future of the Blue Hedgehog is a sequel to Sonic Boom and an endless runner for mobile. If this is how the series is going to be treated after all these years, I think it's about time Sonic the Hedgehog, as well as many other game series on this list, went away for good, as it's been proven time and time again that it's nearly impossible to get back on your feet once you've screwed the Pooch. Fucking werehog? Be sure to stick around after the video for a preview of the next top 10. Did you like the video? Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Do you agree with my list? Have an idea for a top 10? Or do you just want to talk about how stupid I am? Leave it in the comments below. If you want to see my other videos, click the annotations on the screen. Or to subscribe, click on me. Don't worry, I'm not ticklish. Wink, wink. I also got a new Facebook page. So, if you want to like my Facebook page, that'd be great. I could really use that. And also follow me on Twitter. Why not? I know you wanna. So why don't you? Just do it. Shia LaBeouf. And the next top 10 is very special as it's going to be my 50 subscriber top 10. Thank you so much for watching my top 10. Until next time, stay lovely. On the next top 10.